All right, so here's the miracle worker. So thank you so much for showing up, for being part of this, and continuing with chapters 28 to 31. This is 4 chapters, so we have how much time? Okay, an hour. Just about that. And so that should be all right, because it is no use to prolong this unnecessarily. So I really took some parts out of every chapter, and that is like a whole altogether. Just like you saw already in the meditation, chapter 31, there are some expressions in there that are right on our alley in meditating. So let every voice be still, like simplicity of salvation. Now, before we go anywhere, I want to read to you the titles of the chapters. In the blue book, as I got it here, in the blue book it says 28 is the undoing of fear, 29 is the awakening, and then 30 is the new beginning, and 31 is the final vision. Now that's a little different in the Urtext book. 28 is the undoing of fear, 29 is the awakening, 30 is the new beginning, and 31 is the simplicity of salvation instead of the vision, the final vision. Simplicity of salvation or the final vision. Okay, so it doesn't matter for now that the titles are different. I'm not going to say too much about it. So I just wanted to mention it because the simplicity of salvation sounds to me like a natural title for the chapter, since everything in fact is referring to that, not so much a final vision. Now chapter 28, the undoing of fear. It cannot be but that we have to ask ourselves, like, the undoing of fear, but what is this fear then? Where's this fear for? Well, that would be a reasonable question. Like, we're talking about the undoing of fear, but what is it actually that you're afraid of? Afraid to die, afraid to live, afraid to love, afraid to... What is it that you're not afraid of? And so as you could say, like, the human identity is what fear is. That it is continuously under attack. It needs to defend itself. It needs to, in fact, support its own ideas. Otherwise it would fall apart. It is in a place, it sees itself in a place that really does not exist. So that's terrifying. And it sees that there are separate objects where it lives with, whether that's bodies, whether that's any kind of objects. Like, it lives in an objective world of time and space. So it has a set, the word time, it has a set amount of time available to undergo its experiences on the same place that doesn't exist, on this earth that you have in your mind as a place that's really there, as a human being. So everything is related to fear, because in fact you are in an unnatural place. So everything that must be so. It must be that you're then afraid of everything, since you find yourself in a place that actually does not exist, that is actually already over, that is threatening you continuously, that is very uncertain, like very chaotic. It's very uncertain. Like, you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. You have no idea what your neighbor is going to do tomorrow. And on and on and on. Like, I don't have to give you examples. You know many of them. You turn on your television or your news app and you see it all spread over you, so to speak. And it's like everything is totally chaotic, totally insecure, totally unjust, totally in need of everything, in need of love, that's for sure. But it continuously, in fact, shows you there's something missing here. Now that is a scary idea. Imagine that there's not enough. That's simple as that. So, of course, you're going to be afraid. Now, the undoing of fear, to see this in a proper perspective then, is literally the undoing of who you think you are. Since you are embodying all these fearful memories that you carry with you from past experiences, you have every reason to be afraid, but now the undoing of fear is in fact to open your mind for a new experience of yourself, which is really what the awakening is, chapter 29, and what continues in fact showing you how simple this is. It isn't difficult. You've made it complicated by all these laws that you made up in order to function in a world that is totally chaotic and uncertain and unjust. Now this is of course the logic behind this, and that's easy for me to say. Now is that helpful to know that? The thing is that you, and this is really in fact doing A Course in Miracles, is the undoing is total. Just like I said with loving God, you will have to come to the place within yourself that you love God totally, because otherwise the communication isn't there. It is depending on you loving God totally. Then you're open. Then you can receive. But that's the prerequisite, you could say. Like wanting that above all else is what this is for. It's like literally recognizing that is your normal, that's your natural state, and recognizing that in experience is what would immediately calm you down completely, which is what we call from chapter 3 to 1 the idea of revelation, and direct experience of God for you individually. Has nothing to do with anything else, not with anyone else. You experience God directly, and in that moment there's a total release of fear and doubt. For a moment you experience that. Literally it's like thunder and lightning. It's like God enters into your mind literally, and you have a full-blown experience of an intimate contact with God that you hope for in all your relationships on earth but never happened. So this intimate relationship with God is given in revelation. Now that is something that's individual. You cannot talk about it. Like I give a description of it now, but so how am I going to get a revelation, you could ask. And this is like, that's going to be given. Now the point of going to be given will come back today in chapter 30 and 31 too. It's like God takes the final step. God comes to you. Like you're open, then it can happen. And being open is really like allowing this undoing of fear to take place in its totality. So that's why there's no overlap, or there's no gray area, there's no compromise. So that's why you could say like the easiest way to experience this is a total commitment to God, to love, to be completely undone, to not know at all, and dedicate yourself to literally wanting to experience God. If that commitment is total, it's the easiest way. If you can stay present in this instant, it is the easiest. If you just have to let go of the thoughts that come to tempt you, if you just let go of that continuously, completely, then it's the easiest. So this is, in that sense, a really helpful instruction. It literally puts you right in front of the door to heaven, you could say. Because if I'm not distracted by my ideas, I'm not distracted by fear. I don't step into fear. So what is it when I don't step into fear? I open up to love. Love is what is. The rest is not there. Simply is not there. So, yeah, let's start with chapter 28. Now we can place it a little bit. Awakening begins. That's the title of this part. It's like it's really chapter 28 to 31. Now, in case you wonder what the miracle does, it looks like Zen. The miracle does nothing. Just like I saw this title of a Zen master. Zen meditation is good for nothing. Like here, the miracles does nothing. All it does is undo. No, that's great. So, and thus it cancels out the interference to what has been done. It does not add, but merely takes away. Like there's a lot of things you don't have to do, and that's why you discover by letting it go. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. That's the undoing. And what it takes away is long since gone, so you're not going to miss it anyway. But being kept in memory appears to have immediate effects. So it looks like something has been taken away. Or it looks like, hey, I had that habit yesterday, now it's gone. Huh. This world was over long ago. The thoughts that made it are no longer in the mind that thought of them and loved them for a little while. The miracle but shows the past is gone, and what has truly gone has no effects. Remembering a cause can but produce illusions of its presence, not effects. So it's like, wait a minute, what does it say? The miracle but shows the past is gone, and what has truly gone has no effects. Remembering a cause can but produce illusions of its presence, but not effects. So if you keep your memories awake, then it seems like it is still there, but yeah, that's the illusion of its presence, not anything else. Now, the miracle does nothing. All it does is undo. It cancels out the interference to what has been done. This world was over long ago. And so I'm stepping out of this for a second. So it's like this world is over a long time ago. And yeah, you need proof of that. You don't believe that. So that's why the miracle is very helpful. So releasing your ideas about everything gives you the opportunity to experience a miracle. Now this miracle, or this holy instant, as we call it, is literally like a moment that you feel your love for God. It's that suddenly you've been taken out of where you found yourself a moment ago. Yeah, basically you can start laughing. It's like, oh my God, I was so taken in this story of myself, and now I'm taken out of it. And that is so different feeling. It's like it's lifting me up right away. So this is what the miracle does. Like it's a catalyst. It's not doing anything. It just speeds up the process of you remembering this world is over. Now, this world is over. You can say, like, how does that work? Well, if you look at how much time you spend in reinforcing the idea of this world, that's enormous. You confirm it. Basically, probably like 99.9% of the time, you confirm that this place is real by acknowledging someone, by having thoughts about it, by having memories that you carry with you, and that you don't want to let go of that you treasure, that you cherish. And on all this, it's like you are reinforcing the past continuously. Now, if you stop doing that, which is really what the miracle, in fact, invites you to do, like let go of your memories, let go of your ideas. Don't engage with them. Let them be. Don't do anything with them. It's like see them as the clouds in the sky. They just go by and there they go. Like don't try to figure out what they are about, or where they come from, or why you are thinking about it like this. We've come with all kinds of techniques, in fact, to reinforce the thoughts that the world that we have made, to reinforce that idea, as if there really is a world. Now, what happens if you don't do that, except for experiencing the miracle and also feeling that your mind is open? You literally discover that there's no world and that absolutely nothing is happening. Like there's nothing happening in this world. It is like, that is pretty amazing as an experience. You didn't expect that to happen. That will be an aha feeling, a eureka feeling. Yeah, it's like eureka. It's like, I cannot believe it. There's absolutely nothing going on. Now here comes the mind picking up an idea. It's like, well, let me take a look. Is it really quiet? Is there not something going on? Or like, and there you go again, you're already building up a world. So I remember this, like the thing with having experiences of the love of God, being in a direct communication, and suddenly having one thought. For instance, I'm hungry. This I'm hungry. Any need that you have, I'm hungry, suddenly makes it that you literally animate a world with a kitchen, with a fridge, with food in it, in order to get it out there, to satisfy your need, your perceived need, because you don't have that need, but you are, you believe that there's a world in that sense, just generated by one idea, and the whole thing rolls out and suddenly there's a world. It's really like this. So your mind is gone in light and love and you have a beautiful experience. Suddenly one thought creeps in. I'm hungry. And there you go. You get your bodily confirmation. You have to, you get a bit restless. You have to go to the fridge. You have to get something. Well, this is a simple example, but it's really how your mind works. If you acknowledge it and go for it, and you do this, so it's like, yeah, you do this. You really think that there's a world and that it satisfies your need. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it. It would just disappear, because there's literally nothing going on. But you could say the echo of memories that you believe to be true. The miracle returns the cause of fear to you who made it. It's like it makes you aware that you are the dreamer of the dream. So it returns the cause of fear to you who made it. But it also shows that, having no effects, it is not cause, because the function of causation is to have an effect. And where effects are gone, there's no cause. Thus is the body healed by miracles, because they show the mind-made sickness and employ the body to be victim or effect of what it made. Yet half the lesson will not teach the whole. The miracle is useless if you learn but that the body can be healed, for it is not the lesson it was sent to teach. The lesson is the mind was sick that thought the body could be sick. Projecting out its guilt caused nothing and had no effects. The cause of pain is separation, not the body, which is only its effect. Yet separation is but empty space, enclosing nothing, doing nothing, and as unsubstantial as the empty place between the ripples that a ship has made in passing by, and covered just as fast as water rushes in to close the gap, and as the waves in joining cover it. Where is the gap between the waves when they have joined, and covered up the space which seemed to keep them separate for a little while? Where are the grounds for sickness when the mind have joined to close the little gap between them, where the seeds of sickness seem to grow? Ah, that's a lovely expression. So where are the grounds for sickness when the minds have joined to close the little gap between them, where the seeds of sickness seem to grow? I love to go into that, because it's like you think that to love your brother is just to love your brother. It's like no, not at all. It's like if you can receive the love of your brother, you both are healed. It's like I'm literally healed by you loving me, by me receiving your love. By me receiving your love, I give it too at the same time. Now this is what healing is. In fact, like in the recognition that we are one in God. I love God with all of my heart. I love you for your love for God. And you love me for my love for God. It's like if you can recognize that and be open to that, healing is inevitable. Healing is inevitable. Healing is what love is. Healing is what happiness is. Healing takes place in all its simplicity. It's not complicated at all. Now here we are. It's like the simplicity of salvation, chapter 31. But here this is so fundamental, and it's so, you could say, so underrated. You've no idea that the love of your brother, receiving the love of your brother for your love for God, is healing everything. Literally, it just heals everything that wasn't right before. In fact, in that moment that you allow that love to be there, that you receive that love, literally receive it, and you in that moment give it, cause and effect are not apart. It's like they literally blend into one. Now that is reinforced by the total love of God. And in that moment, everything is whole. You have allowed this moment to be whole and complete. You have to allow this, it's in that sense not a big deal, it's just a real moment. It is where this moment was made for. It is 100% different than the world would think about it, but that doesn't matter. It's like the world doesn't really think at all. It cannot think. But it's like here, in your experience of yourself, you want to be healed? Well, allow your brother to love you. Allow that love. Receive that love. Completely, totally holy. Now we end in an holy instant. It's like that holy instant takes place in this instant. In that moment, it is literally like everything comes together. Here's the love of God. Here's my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. In that moment, everything is whole, of course. Like the miracle is, it does nothing. It doesn't do anything. No, love is real. It is the only thing that is real. And you just remember that by this. Fear is undone. All the differences that we made up for ourselves are suddenly gone because I allowed love to return into my awareness completely and recognize that to be the love for God. So here's your healing moment. So that's always so great, like the simplicity of salvation is really this, like there's nothing going on but this. This moment is whole and perfect. It has nothing to do with anything. It has not to do with differences. It has not to do with rituals. It has not to do with I know more about it than you. No, this is a recognition of equality and oneness. And it works. Yeah, it works so great. Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, it really worked, didn't it? Whoa. Huh. Yeah. How lovely is that? Okay, is my 15 minutes already gone? Oh my God, yes. But we go through it pretty good. I really like this. Yeah, what is a sense of sickness but a sense of limitation, of splitting off and separating off? A gap that is perceived between you and your brother, and what is now seen as health. And so the good is seen to be outside and the evil within. Now that's really a confused mind, right? And thus a sickness separating off the self from good and keeping evil in. God is the alternate to dreams of fear. Well, we just had a demonstration of that. Who shares in them can never share in him. But who withdraws his mind from sharing them is sharing him. There's no other choice. Except you share it. Nothing can exist. And you exist because God shared his will with you. See, this is referring to the idea of sickness. If you share the idea of sickness with your brother, you're in it together. It's like now you're caught in it together. Because you share the idea of sickness. You really gave it value. You give it, you make it real. So the miracle would take you out of that. Like suddenly you are remembering. It's like, no, there's nothing outside of me. No, it's like the light of the world is what I am. The light is within me. There's no darkness within me. I'm the dreamer of this dream. And since I recognize that, now I'm opening my consciousness for what is true, instead of being confused about what seemed to be outside, dictating to me what I am, or confirming to me how I think about myself, with ideas of sickness. Your home is built upon your brother's health, upon his happiness, his sinlessness. Your home is built upon your brother's health, upon his happiness, his sinlessness, and everything his father promised him. No secret promise you have made instead has shaken the foundation of his home. So your home is built upon your brother's health and his happiness and his sinlessness. Yeah? The wind will blow upon it and the rain will beat against it with no effect. The world will wash away, and yet this house will stand forever, for its strength lies not within itself alone. It is an ark of safety, resting on God's promise that his Son is saved forever in himself. What gap can interpose itself between the safety of this shelter and its source? Since it's the same thing, there's no such thing as a gap then. See, this was what we just practiced, in fact. It's like you receive the love for your brother, love of your brother. You receive it completely. Now you give that to your brother in the recognition of your love for God. That takes care of this. So this is chapter 29, the awakening. There's no time, no place, no state where God is absent. There's nothing to be feared. There is no way in which a gap could be conceived of in the wholeness that is his. The compromise the least and littlest gap would represent in his eternal love is quite impossible, for it would mean his love could harbor just a hint of hate, his gentleness turned sometimes to attack, and his eternal patience sometimes fail. All this do you believe when you perceive a gap between your brother and yourself. How could you trust him then? See, in fact, this is a total continuation of chapter 28. It's like now if I perceive a little gap between me and my brother, I believe also that there's a gap between God and me, and that God might not be that patient as it seemed to be. Or he can suddenly attack, or who knows what. Then God becomes, kind of fearful. So this is quite something. But here it is like, no, there is no gap. There's no way in which a gap could be conceived in the wholeness that is his. So that's your certainty. It isn't love that asks a sacrifice, but fear demands the sacrifice of love. For in love's presence, fear cannot abide. Now I'd like to stop here. Like, that's exactly right. So it's like you could see that in a moment ago. It's like the experience of love and receiving that. Literally, it's like receiving the love of your brother. There's no space for fear in that. If you do that total, there's no place for fear. And there's also no necessity to be afraid of anything. In that moment, you're past that sign, you could say. You're past the idea of fear. That's why you are experiencing love. So this is so fundamental, but so incredibly basic. Because you know what it is. Like, you know what it is to receive your brother's love. You know that. It is familiar to you. So that's so great. It's like fear is then always like a little disturbance, superficial disturbance, you could say, based on an idea of an image or a past memory. But if you don't give that any credit, if you don't give that any space to in fact make a gap between you and your brother, then you're safe. While you protect him, while you protect yourself from him, you interpose a gap between the two of you. Like, you literally, that feels unsafe. Now you have to hold on to that, otherwise that will collapse and you fall in love. So this is what we try in the world. We try to defend yourself, not to come too close, because that's dangerous. It's dangerous because you never know. It might not be certain. There might be an attack. It might not look what it seems to be. Like, you have all kinds of reasons not to open up to love completely based on your past experiences. So that's why we say you have to let go of these ideas. You have to let go of your ideas about your brother, that he could attack, that he is separate from you, that he is not reliable, or in the same way that God is not reliable in that same act. You confirm that God is not reliable because God created his Son, perfect and whole. Now, why would I be afraid of something that God created as the love itself? Love itself created your brother. Now you are afraid of this brother? Or you can say like, well, yeah, I believe that I was created by the love of God and I love to accept that. But I'm not so sure about my brother. You know how inconsistent that is, and that immediately would interpose a gap between you and God and your brother in your imagination. Now here it says like, stop doing that. There's no need for you to do that. But see what you do and see how, see in fact what is going on. See, it is not love that asks for sacrifices. But fear demands the sacrifice of love. Now if you interpose a gap between you and your brother, you have sacrificed love. Now you're afraid. Here there's more description. Thus is love seen as treacherous, because it seems to come and go uncertainly and offer no stability to you. You do not see how limited and weak is your allegiance, and how frequently you have demanded that love go away and leave you quietly alone in so-called peace. It seems like this one knows what he's talking about. Make way for love, which you did not create, but which you can extend. On earth, this means forgive your brother, that the darkness be lifted from your mind. When light has come to him through your forgiveness, he will not forget his Savior, leaving him unsaved. For it was in your face he saw the light that he would keep beside him as he walks through darkness to everlasting light. There's a place in you, and this is what we were referring to in the meditation too. There's a place in you where this world has been forgotten, where no memory of sin and of illusions lingers still. There's a place in you which has time has left and echoes of eternity are heard. There's a resting place so still, no sound except a hymn to heaven rises up to gladden God, the Father and the Son. Where both abide are they remembered, both, and where they are is heaven and is peace. And this place is in you, like there's a place in you where this whole world has been forgotten, where no memory of sin and of illusion lingers still. How lovely is the world whose purpose is forgiveness of God's Son, how free from fear, how filled with blessing and with happiness, and what a joyous thing it is to dwell a little while in such happy place. Nor can it be forgot in such a world. It is a little while till timelessness comes quietly to take the place of time. In such a world, it is a little while till timelessness comes quietly to take the place of time. Okay, so this one I really wanted to share too, so that's why it's here. Seek not outside yourself, for it will fail, and you will weep each time an idol falls. Heaven cannot be found where it isn't, and there can be no peace except there. Each idol that you worship when God calls will never answer in his place. There's no other answer you can substitute and find the happiness his answer brings. Seek not outside yourself. All pain comes simply from a futile search for what you want, insisting where it must be found. What if it is not there? Do you prefer that you be right or happy? Okay, so this is chapter 29. Do you prefer to be right or do you prefer to be happy? Like this is also a big forgiveness part. Forgiveness then is really like releasing every idea about yourself, every preconception, every doubt, every thought, leaving that. Not wanting to be right, but wanting to be happy. It's like literally letting all that go. Now this is forgiveness. So forgiveness is in fact, what does it do? Helps you to recognize your own innocence and that of your brother, of course. It's like this is not other than feeling the love for your brother, receiving the love for your brother. I love to use the word receiving the love of your brother, because then it's you receiving it. In that you give it, but the attitude is basically receiving of the direction is receiving it. In that you give it. Now this is exactly where healing occurs, as we saw. It's like that's where healing occurs, but it's also an act of forgiveness. The light of the world brings peace to every mind. Literally, I'm not attacking. No, I'm open to love. I receive the love that you give me. I receive the love. In that, I give it to you. We recognize it together and be glad in God. It's like this. It's like that's what the miracle is. It's not really a doing. It's just being open for it. So it's not under conscious control, but it's still happening. It can be experienced. It doesn't need to be understood. So that's really wonderful. Okay, we're doing good. Looking at my clock. It doesn't mean anything either, isn't it? Isn't it funny? So just a little in between chat. This is like next week we have the meditation at the same time. But then after that, I want to spend a little time as a question and answer for the chapters. So if you feel like being part of that, just show up and be there. And it's like you might have certain very specific things coming to you in listening to what I'm sharing, or watching the videos, or reading the chapters, or something like this. It's like the question and answer is really like they are one. So it's you bring the question, if you have one, you bring the question and the answer, because the answer is in you. So literally is like that will be a shared experience. So I can't wait to be part of that. In other words, like, it's not that I have the answers. No, it's that when you ask this question, then the answer can come to you. It's the same as with love. It's like, if I receive love, I actually am giving it. If I give you the space to love me, I'm actually loving you. So this is like cause and effect are coming together. And here it says like they're reversing cause and effect. Instead of thinking that there's something outside of you, you recognize your oneness, and they come together. And this. So next week, then, with the question and answer, that will be part of that. So you're welcome to join that too. And so it's good to take time to take another look, just freestyling, so to speak, through the chapters, or whatever you want to read. You can also read something that's so beautiful to you, because you might have checked out the chapters and you might have read them, and there must be something that's resonating deeply with you. Now that's a great possibility then to share that with your brother, because you don't need to be afraid of him, is what you just heard. So you also don't have to be afraid to express your love for God, or your love for your brother, or your love for what you just read. So yeah, that's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so that was the the intermission chat. We continue with chapter 30. I do that with this. God turns to you to ask the world be saved, for by your own salvation is it healed. If you allow that to happen to you, the world will be saved. If you allow yourself to be overflown by the love of God, the world is saved. And no one walks upon the earth but must depend on your decision, that he learn death has no power over him, because he shares your freedom as he shares your will. It is your will to heal him, and because you have decided with him, he is healed. Now is God forgiven, for you chose to look upon your brother as a friend. It's unbelievable. It's like, oh, it's really believable. It's absolutely beautiful. Where could the thought God holds of you exist but where you are? See, that's a nice contemplative question. Where could the thought God holds of you exist but where you are? Is your reality a thing apart from you? And in a world which your reality knows nothing of? Outside you there is no eternal sky, no changeless star, and no reality. The mind of heaven's Son in heaven is, for there the mind of Father and Son, joined in creation, which can have no end. You have not two realities but one, nor can you be aware of more than one. It's just beautiful. Now we're talking about the real world. The real world is a state of mind in which the only purpose of the world is seen to be forgiveness. Fear is not its goal, for the escape from guilt becomes its aim. Escape from guilt. The value of forgiveness is perceived and takes the place of idols, which are sought no longer, for their so-called gifts are not held dear. So I'm keeping this short. Like, the real world is the state of mind in which the only purpose of the world is seen to be forgiveness. Like, there's one purpose of the world: forgiveness. You don't need any of it, but you can forgive it. So that's forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. That's one of the lessons. Fear is not its goal, for the escape from guilt becomes its aim. Like, it escapes guilt by recognizing there's no such thing as fear. And there's no such thing as this world either. The final step is God's, because it is but God who would create a perfect Son and share his fatherhood with him. No one outside of heaven knows how this can be, for understanding this is heaven itself. Yeah, that's like a beautiful koan. No one outside of heaven knows how this can be, for understanding this is heaven itself. The final step is God's, because it is but God who could create a perfect Son and share his fatherhood with him. No one outside of heaven knows how this can be, for understanding this is heaven itself. Even the real world has a purpose still beneath creation and eternity. But fear is gone because its purpose is forgiveness, not idolatry. So is Heaven's Son prepared to be himself, and to remember that the Son of God knows everything his Father understands, and understands it perfectly with him. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Wow. How light and easy is the step across the narrow boundaries of the world of fear when you have recognized whose hand you hold. Within your hand is everything you need to walk with perfect confidence away from fear forever, and to go straight on and quickly reach the gate of heaven itself. How light and easy is the step across the narrow boundaries of the world of fear when you have recognized whose hand you hold. Wow. I don't know how this is for you, but that to me is like extremely comforting. Like, everything becomes so easy in that sense. Like, there's not much asked of you if you realize whose hand it is you hold, you know? Have you any idea whose hand it is you hold? Like, if you would have that idea completely, if you receive that, then you're free, you're home in heaven. Now that seems such an easy thing, right? It's like, well, stand still and think a while. Whose hand it is that you hold? Like, who's actually helping you here? Who's actually reminding you of where you truly belong? Who's taking you out of this construct that you have placed yourself in, and has no need any longer, has no purpose any longer? So it's like the whole function, and what we just read, like the whole function of you here on earth is then forgiveness. Forgiveness is basically saying, no, I don't need any of this. Thank you. No, thank you. No, I'm not tempted by any idol. No, thank you so much. I pass. In fact, that is your function as the light of the world. You forgive everything by saying, like, I don't want to invest in this any longer. I'm suddenly have become aware of whose hand it is I hold, and where I truly abide. Now, this is what is happening. This is what you start to realize. Now, that is not a change in that sense. But it's a total transformation, but it's not a change. It was never different. Only in your imagination it was different. This was what you made up in your mind. That's where it was different, but in fact it is not a change at all. So that is so great. Now, that has nothing to do with your ideas about yourself. And this is what we referred to before too, is like the tendency to place this within your own construct. Everything that you hear is not what this is for. A Course in Miracles is not more concepts to stuff in your construct of yourself. And now this is purely directing you to be open to receive, to come into an experience of God, of your totality, of your love for your brother, seeing that there's no one and nothing attacking you, and in fact that you let go of all your idols, all your toys, all your definitions, all your preconceptions, just forgiveness, in fact, like saying like, no interest, no thank you, no thank you, I pass, no thank you. This will not add anything to what I am and where I find myself. I don't need that. But don't you want a little sickness, or don't you want a little lack or limitation, or some disaster maybe, some really nasty episode or something? Do you want something like this? You say, no, thank you. This is forgiveness. No, I don't want any of it. Thanks. What does he want of you? What could he want but what you want of him? Suddenly we're in chapter 31. Herein is life easily as death. For what you choose as well for him. 2 calls you make to him as he to you. The voice you hear in him is but your own. What you hear your brother say, you could say, what you hear your brother say is your own voice. What does he ask you for? And listen well, for he is asking what will come to you. Because you see an image of yourself and you hear your voice requesting what you want. Before you answer, pause to think of this. Now here, this is exactly, say, the forgiveness point. You could easily say that. It's like, what does he want of you? What could he want but what you want of him? Like literally, he's not outside of you, he's just reflecting your thoughts. What you think about him, you see reflected, and you think he's separate from you, as long as you do. You think he's separate from you, and that he comes with an idea that sounds crazy to you, but you actually let him say it to you because it is your thought. Herein is life as easily as death. For what you choose as well for him. 2 calls you make to him as he to you. The voice you hear in him is but your own. What does he ask you for? And listen well, for he is asking what will come to you, because you see an image of yourself and hear your voice requesting what you want. Before you answer, just think of this. The answer that I give my brother is what I am asking for. And what I learn of him is what I learn about myself. So think of this a moment. The answer that I give my brother is what I'm asking for, and what I learn of him is what I learn about myself. In other words, you use your brother to let him tell you what you think. So now you have a choice. You are either going to reject or attack him, or you say like, whatever. Either way, like, I don't want to be right. I want to be happy and share my happiness with you. In fact, that is the choice that you have. Let us be glad that you will see what you believe and that it has been given you to change what you believe. Let us be glad that you will see what you believe. We saw this, like you're the cause of what you see, so you believe what you see. And you see what you believe. So that makes it possible for you to change your mind. So in other words, what is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to believe? Do you want to believe that your brother is a creation of God, just like you, like the love created love itself? This is your chance. The body will but follow. It can never lead you where you would not be. It does not guard your sleep, nor interfere with your awakening. Release your body from imprisonment, and you will see no one as a prisoner to what you have escaped. You will not want to hold in guilt your chosen enemies, nor keep in chains to the illusion of a changing love, the ones you think are friends. Let us be glad that what you will see, what you believe, and that it has been given you to change what you believe. And it will change what you see. The body will but follow. It can never lead you where you would not be. It does not guard your sleep, nor interfere with your awakening. Release your body from imprisonment, from any kind of idea that you have projected on it. Like, release your body from all imprisonment that you have imposed on it. And you will see no one as prisoner to what you have escaped. So that's a huge sentence too. You will not want to hold in guilt your chosen enemies, nor keep in chains to the illusions of a changing love, the ones you think are friends, or the ones you think that left you. Forgive yourself your madness and forget all senseless journeys and all goalless aims. They have no meaning. You cannot escape from what you are, for God is merciful and did not let his Son abandon him. For what he is, be thankful, for in that is your escape from madness and from death. Nowhere but where he is can you be found. Nowhere but where he is can you be found. Yeah, that's almost like a koan too, but it's kind of clear. Nowhere but where he is can you be found. There is no path that does not lead to him. Nowhere but where he is can you be found. Yeah, that's so great. So this say confirms the idea of that there's no change at all possible. Like, nowhere but where he is can you be found. Like, you're inseparable. The concept of the self is meaningless, for no one here can see what it is for, and therefore cannot picture what it is. Yet is all learning that the world directs begun and ended with this single aim of teaching you this concept of yourself, that you will choose to follow this world's laws and never seek to go beyond its roads, nor realize the way you see yourself. Now must the Holy Spirit find a way to help you see this concept of the self must be undone, if any peace of mind is to be given you. Wow, that's something else, isn't it? A concept of the self is meaningless, for no one here can see what it is for, and therefore cannot picture what it is. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. That's why I put it in there. It's like such a great sentence. Like the whole education system is built on a self-concept. Now this self-concept cannot be understood, cannot be recognized, can be defended, but it cannot be found. It literally doesn't exist, in other words. You try to confirm it, you try to do all these things, but in the end it falls apart because it is nothing. It is an illusion of itself. Now the whole educational system is based on an idea of self-concept, an idea about yourself. So that tumbles and falls like... That's why we say continuously, like in every meditation, forget what you think about yourself, forget what you've ever learned, come with completely open hands and forget about everything else. Because you were badly taught, like you're really badly taught, literally taught by something that doesn't know what it is. Now that doesn't sound good, does it? So this is like the simplicity of salvation, to recognize this. Like whatever is occurring, whatever idea I hold about myself is not what I am. Now here's my freedom at the same place. Like wherever God is, I am. And this is what we just read. Wherever God is, I am. What else is there to know? What else is there to experience? Nothing. Like you don't need a concept for that. It is an experience. That is the simplicity of this. Now this concludes then chapter 31, so we did that, and I'm really happy that we got this far. It's absolutely beautiful for me to see this flow through myself. Like it's unbelievable. I'm so excited about the comfort that it gives, continuously just putting you like to rest. In fact, it's like, oh, I don't need that. Oh, I don't need to do that either. Oh, here's forgiveness. Oh, oof. I can let go. I can let go of this. I don't need to do that. Oh, I got great help. Look whose hand I'm holding. Oh my God. So like all of that continuously is confirming. Absolutely everything is set. It's a done deal. It's so beautiful. You don't need to add anything to it. Just receive it. Just receive it. Just practice this. Practice receiving the love for your brother. Practice letting go of your ideas in order to become happy. Practice to leave all this behind and spend time in timelessness. So beautiful. So I love this. So thank you so much for being part of this with me. And hopefully I'll see you next week in the question and answer, which is really like give, receive, all the opportunities that we have discovered in the 31 chapters that we were going through. So thank you so much for your dedication and for your receptiveness. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.